Yeah, welcome from the studio from OK-TV Ludwigshafen, here in the middle of the town of Ludwigshafen in the Hemshof, and in turbulent times, a special guest who is caused by the whole things happening in international politics in Afghanistan, connected to the city, because he is coming from Afghanistan after the empowerment of the Taliban, escaping a journalist, and we helped him to come out. We mean Doris Barnett, our former MP here, and also OK-TV to come out of Afghanistan. And now he is here. I am very happy, Ramin Ahmadyar, to have you here in our studio, that we can talk personally about your experience, about the things happening in Afghanistan, to get information, first-hand information from your side. You worked as a journalist. We have here Good Morning Afghanistan. This is one of the radio stations you worked for. Yeah, Ramin, you are now several months in Germany. When you look back to the situation in Afghanistan, what are your what would you say today? What have you done there, and how you look at the past, to the things you have done, and to your new life in Germany that will be?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for inviting me here, and thank you for giving me the chance to talk about the war-ravaged Afghanistan. And first of all, I would like to give a salute to the people of Ukraine, and saying to them that you are always in our prayers, and I wish you that soon peace and democracy will come back to your country and live in a peaceful atmosphere, because we have the same history and we have seen the same invasion. Our country, you know, that we have, it was invaded by the Russians.
In Soviet times.
And Soviet times, ex-Soviet Russians actually, at that time. And my name is Ramin Ahmadyar. I was the managing director for Radio Good Morning Afghanistan, and all past 20 years I have worked for the different national and international organizations, mainly media organization. I was the founder of 2-3 media organizations, and first I started my career with the Radio Good Morning Afghanistan, the biggest media project of European Commission in Afghanistan. And then the radio was the idea of and established by Wasim Mahmoud, the OBA, honor of the British Britain journalist, and I started mainly my working career with him. Then I became the managing director of that radio, and then we continued to establish another radio program called Good Evening Afghanistan, and then Aonama production and background media, and we were all working for the supporting of peace and democracy and freedom of speech for Afghanistan, and we were helping the Western mission in terms of media in Afghanistan, and yeah, like this. And but unfortunately, that the Afghanistan was collapsed and fallen on 15 August of 2021, and then it caused us that not only for me and for the people who have worked with the international communities and working for have worked with for the human rights and freedom of speech and these things, they're life-threatening like me, and then thanks from you guys and from the friends that I would like to name them: Dr. Wolfgang, Sandra Leggers, Wasim Mahmoud, KB Spoons, Catherine, Gabriela, and other friends, Rachel Martin, Adam, and they helped me and my family to be evacuated first to Qatar, and then from Qatar, big thanks from the German government that they provide us the visa and evacuated us to Germany. And I'm living in a part of Germany. It's called Baden-Württemberg.
Yeah, on the other side of the Rhine, meanwhile.
Yeah. The Marbach om Neckar. I would like to give a thank from the people in Marbach, the administration in Lutzburg and Marbach, Ms. Kuiper and Stefan, Ms. Strascher, and these people that they helped us put my children at the schools and provide a peaceful life for us, that to continue our studying and our lesson, and helped us to live there in a beautiful place, and then to see for a bright and prosperous future, to continue our struggle for the human rights and the freedom of speech and these things.
Yeah, so that's great that it was possible to bring you out, to give you the chance to live a peaceful life, but you also bring a lot of knowledge about Afghanistan with your media work, about the backgrounds of a development which our view from Europe, or let's say also Germany. We know German troops were in Afghanistan for a long time. After 9/11, the invasion through the first Taliban regime away happens, and the West tried to build another Afghanistan, but there are a lot of things went wrong, and we see now when everything would have been fine, you wouldn't sit here, and so a lot of things went wrong. When you look back, what do you think? What were the main reason that the West failed in Afghanistan, and what makes it possible that Taliban came to power again?
Yeah, I'm coming from a country, war-ravaged country, that faced first the invasion of the Russian, and that paved the way for the others to invaded in this country so many times, that and people like me who born and fight in war, grew up in war, studied in war, worked in war, and I was living in war there, so we can bring you the reliable and from deep inside of Afghanistan information that I would like to tell it to the international communities, that what happened in Afghanistan. I would rather to discuss, we all know that what happened in Afghanistan, and the country was collapsed, the government was collapsed, and we have lost Afghanistan, unfortunately, again. But I would rather to discuss more about, in spite of presence of NATO and the United States of American forces and all international communities in Afghanistan, and also in spite of spending of billions of dollars in Afghanistan, why the country is failed, and why the Western mission failed in Afghanistan, why we are in this stage, why Afghanistan is in this stage today. I remember I was one of the participants for the Bonn Second Conference here in Germany, and I was sometimes writing some articles, political articles, and once I addressed the international communities that if you're gonna bring all your money and all your soldiers in Afghanistan, but if you don't sort out the problem with the corruption, which is a very bad phenomenon, and if you don't solve the corruption part of this country, you're gonna lose all this your money and all your success, and we are gonna lose all the the past achievement, the peace and democracy, the freedom of speech, and we were going to lose Afghanistan. And unfortunately, I don't know why nobody didn't care and didn't listen. So, and this happened that the corruption was, from viewpoint of mine, the reason that Afghanistan was falling because of this very bad phenomena, corruption. Both governments, the Karzai and Ashraf Ghani, they were the most corrupted government in the Afghanistan in the past 20 years. And this corruption caused that the nation got distance from the states. And you know that they were a few hundred people. They were sharing the government, sharing the power, sharing the helping money. Most monies that came to Afghanistan, they were still by these people. They still have their own those monies with them. They have big buildings and so many other things in Dubai, in Dubai, in Europe, in the United States of America, and in so many places. And this was mainly reason that they forget the other 32 million of population of Afghanistan, that they are to be forgotten and isolated in other place. And this caused that the people of Afghanistan forgetting, and then this caused that the people got distance from the government, and this caused that the Western mission became failed in Afghanistan. And after the pullback by the international community, in 4 days the government was collapsed. You know why it's collapsed? Because it didn't have the support of the nation. It didn't have the support of the people of Afghanistan. Sometimes we say that if there is not the Taliban and their forces and these things, still the government was collapsing, because it was deep in a very deep corruption, and they were going. So this caused that the people didn't support the government, and in 4 days the government collapsed. And unfortunately, we have lost all the past 20 years achievements, and especially peace and democracy in our country.
And progress too, because we thought, or we wanted, I think also from German or from Western European side, to give money to Afghanistan to build schools, to build kindergartens, to build universities. And a lot of these universities are never were built. They are now in Dubai, like you told. They are now in very, very expensive cars, houses, and other things from this elite in Kabul. And I think another big mistake, what I read about it, and that would be also interesting for me to know, that you have this, you have in Afghanistan a system of decentralization, that the provinces and that that the people in the regions with their own governments are have a big influence, and the Western states thought we have the 300 elite at Kabul, and it doesn't matter what's happening in the provinces. And this was, in my opinion, also or my view, one of the reasons that it failed in this way.
Yeah, as I told you before, the government was controlling and sharing by a few hundred people. These a few hundred people, sometimes they became minister, and sometimes deputy minister, sometimes government, sometimes all the power was sharing between them, both governments, in the past 20 years. I mean, the Karzai and Ashraf Ghani. The other 32 million population of Afghanistan, they were forgotten about. There were no developments in the provinces, as you told me, as you said. There were no, not only the development and job facilities and working and these things, but there was fight as well. They were putting people in the jail, they were putting bomb on the people that they didn't have any connection, and they were between the Taliban and the Afghan government and international communities. And this caused the people, the people of Afghanistan, they have, their family planning is that they have so many big families and big, lots of children, and then when I see the problem as an economic problem. It has economic base that when the people are jobless, when they have lots of children and family and they don't work, and the other, that Afghanistan is a war-ravaged country, and there's drug deal mafias, there's other fundamentalists and extremists and terrorist groups came on the time of fighting Russian Soviet Union, and they were there. They can easily, and also the intelligence services of the neighboring countries in Afghanistan, they can easily use the jobless and poor people. Mm-hmm. You see my point? When there's a corrupted government and don't pay attention to the people, so the other side, there is these things that I said, the drug mafias, they can easily hire the people and they can destroy the country as they did. And that this happened because as I told you, because of the corruption that the government had, and they were just forgetting the nation. When you don't have the support of your nation, so you're going to lose everything in that region. So that was the other problem as well.
And what do you think is the explanation that the Western side, US side, didn't react to this situation, because they know it? They know that what was happening, and they did nothing against it because it was so much more easy to handle, to give a lot of money to 300 people, and they say, okay, everything is fine, and you close your eyes to the other thing. For me, it's unbelievable that nobody tried in this 20 years of engagement in Afghanistan. Nobody tries to change that.
Actually, I divided this in two parts. One is positive points, one is negative points. The positive points that the international community, and especially the Germans, that I would like to thank for that, some roads were built. Afghanistan was a destroyed country before that, 9/11. And some roads were built, and administration was built, and the military that was built, the police, national police by the Germans, they built, and some dams and some ports and some other things were built. The institution and the organization built. But those were not enough, because, as I told you before, I said in my one of articles that if you're going to bring all the monies and all the resource, but if there is a corrupted government at the top management, not all the people, were corrupted in Afghanistan or in the administration. I'm talking about the top management, that they were corrupted people. As I told you before, a few hundred people. They were sharing everything between each others, both governments in the past 20 years. So those things caused that all the things that the positive points that they made for Afghanistan, they also forget it by the people. And one of my interview there in Afghanistan, I had an interview with the international communities. I told them that, look, when you go to the provinces of Afghanistan and say to the people, for example, if you're saying that international community or Afghan army, they're thinking that you're putting bomb on them. Mm-hmm. This is not good. On the other hand, you're building the roads, you're building the institutions, you're building the educations, you're supporting the peace and democracy, the freedom of speech. These things we have to fairly show to the people that, look, this guy is not here to destroy your country. These people, the Western people and the government is here to build your country, to make factories, to make job facilities for you people here. I told them that, look, we are weak in terms of communication for these in the people of Afghanistan. And again, I see all the reason of the failure of Afghanistan was the corruption. I repeat it again. It was the government who were corrupted, and unfortunately the international community got action on that time against these people. Even now I propose for the international community, for the taxpayer, for the European countries, for the United States of American countries, for the people, that still you can get action against these people. They stolen all the money, they destroyed the country, a nation, and now they're living in a very good villas with lots of money in UK, in Dubai, in Istanbul, in Europe, in the United States of America. You can go, all the people know it, international community know that they have lots of money in their banks and their, even now, if it's still early, it's still good time to go and punish them, that still the people of the world and the people of Afghanistan know that when these people are committed treachery against their nations, they are now going to the jail, and they are now responsible to respond to these all measures that they have brought to this country and to the world.
When you look, this is, I think, this is clear, and this is a task also for the future, for our times now and for the future, to bring this money back and to give it, hopefully, to a changed government in Afghanistan, like it was first planned. You talked a lot of media. You worked in the media, building up freedom of speech, the whole working on this basics that free media are also fundamental for developing democracy and human rights, women's rights included, and so on. What do you think what was the effect of your work during the Western forces were there, and what is there something which still has an effect to Afghan society even after all the things happening, after the second Taliban regime get to power?
Yeah, you know, we have a big achievement for the people of Afghanistan, especially for the young generation of Afghanistan, which was the freedom of speech and democracy, and the people and the education. And through this media, we have brought and caused the people, the young generation, that they become educated. And today you are seeing lots of young generation, they are educated people. They have educated in Europe, in America, and in India, and some other countries. And today that you see that those much change that today the Taliban have it because of this young generation from different tribes and people of Afghanistan, even inside the Pashtuns, inside the Tajiks, inside the Uzbek, Hazara. People now thinking about the education. This is all because of the achievement of media, that we opened the mind of the people, that they look, if you are educated, when you are going to school, let your daughter, let your son to go to school, and they become educated, then you can build the country. And especially when the woman, they become educated, then they can change the world, change the country, because the woman, this is the woman that they bring up the children, can bring up well the children and these people. So I see still you see people that they coming in the streets demonstrating, these young girls, and this is all because of the freedom of speech and free media that we had in Afghanistan, which was the big achievement of the international community and in the Afghan people, this free media. Still we have some TV stations and radios. Still, if you, as I'm following the news in Afghanistan, still we have some people, the young generation coming to the dialogue like this inside Afghanistan in Kabul, and they criticize on the Taliban, which is I see it a big achievement and impact of the free media that still we have it in Afghanistan.
And so this young generation is the hope for the future in Afghanistan, but in the future, in a long or middle term future, because at the moment the situation is rather dramatic when we look to Kabul and the provinces, what's going on with terror, what are the reasons for this economical collapse, but also for this security collapse, that even the Taliban are not able to bring security to the country, even with the Kalashnikov in their hands.
Yeah. Actually, what happened in Afghanistan when took over by the Taliban, when the government was collapsed, they entered in the big cities and entered in the capital city, Kabul. They broke in the jails. And you know, in the jails, in the central jails of the provinces and in the central jails of Afghanistan, in Kabul, there was different criminals, including ISIS, 3,000 to 5,000 ISIS, dangerous people. And there was 5,000 to 10,000 other different criminals and people the killers and the people who committed treachery. They were all released from the jails and entered in the cities. And you know that there was more than $80 billion ammunition and weapons. They were disappeared in Afghanistan, and the people are armed. And on the first days, it was these people that they were killing the people. Until now, they are doing terroristic attacks in Afghanistan. Even the Taliban trying to bring security, as you said, they have their AK-47 in their shoulders, but still there is so many people that they fled from the jails, and they are armed now, and they are in the cities, and they are doing whatever they want, and even the Taliban cannot arrest them at the moment, although they are trying. At these days, I have heard that they are searching the homes for the weapons and searching the homes to capture these people. But it's, you know, the Afghanistan is a very difficult territory, and still there is so much problem. Still sometimes they putting suicide bombs in different part of Kabul and killing people. You see terrorize the people. And the other side from economic, I always say that Afghanistan has an economic problem. The people have economic problem, and this economic and no job facilities and no working, and these caused the country to come to this stage. And still, most of people that are escaping at the moment, people are dying from poverty, and people are so many people have lost their jobs by the pullback of international communities and collapsing of the government. People have lost their jobs. They don't have anything. Most of people that now fleeing and escaping from the country, it's because it has a big economic issue. They just want to escape from the country, and unfortunately this young generation that I told you, they're also escaping because of this. I have one of my friends, he has two masters, two master degree, and the other day he sent a picture of him. He's working in Iran in construction and cleaning the roads. And he have missed all those education that he have. And most of people that now fleeing and escaping from Afghanistan, it has a big issue, which is economic issue. They are jobless, they don't have food, they don't have money, so they want to escape from the country in order to survive with their families.
And this under pressure of Afghanistan and the Taliban, and the Taliban under pressure of terrorists.
Under pressure
this is
of
really a terrible situation.
Very terrifying situation.
And Ramin, because of this situation, after the collapse, you decided to go out, and your life was in danger. The life of your family was in danger. How was the situation when we had the first contact, or the days before? What was your situation last year in Afghanistan, in Kabul? It must have been horrible.
Yeah, it was very horrible. As I told you, that these people, especially these criminals, that they escaped from the jails, they were doing and killing, and you didn't know who is who. And me and people like me who was working for the international communities and writers and poets and other people, we were feeling not insecurity, and we were feeling that as we had life-threatening and then we have to keep change our places of living. And for example, me, on account of my service with the Germans and with the European Commission and this, I was not feeling safe there. Then I contacted my friends, including you and other people, that finally they helped us to, I would like to say a special thanks to the Qatari people. They have helped Afghan people, including me as well. And then we have keep changing our places, and we were living in a very misery, and we were afraid. So then they evacuated us to Qatar, and then thanks from the government of Germany again, and you guys, that they evacuated us to Germany.
I remember messages from your side in Kabul. We are under life danger. Taliban can come. They will shoot us down. They have even shot some comrades and people you know very well to death. And so it was really dramatic.
It was dramatic. The country was in a big chaos, and also one of my friends asked me that, how do you prove that your life is in danger? I said, look, I cannot go out, I cannot work. For example, if I go out and say that, look, I have worked in this time with the Germans, I work in this time with the European Commission, I work in this time with the Americans. So these people, they don't like these things, and they will put my life in danger. And if I don't work, so what should I do? And sitting at home, because I have family here. I have to move my life. Although we haven't done anything in the past, it was all my life I was struggling, especially this past 20 years, struggling for the freedom of speech, women's rights, human rights, and these things. I was struggled to bring a peaceful and equality in Afghanistan. But you know that now the situation has changed, and we cannot live there with these ideas. So this caused me to contact.
And this was really, from my side, when I can tell it too, when I heard it for the first time, that an Afghan journalist family is under pressure and must go out, then we make this international project Media Dialogue, so there are relations to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and to our I told it at the beginning of our talk here to members of parliament, Doris Barnett, for example, and other connections to Berlin, and to put you on the list of evacuation.
Yeah,
and
thank you very much.
That was a good that was a starting point. But in between, we got absolutely no informations about the things what happening, and that makes the whole situation dramatic. Also from our sides, dramatic via smartphone. Our drama was watching at the smartphone, getting your messages from different places in Kabul, then hope that you go to the hotel, the big hotel in Kabul.
The Serena Hotel.
And I remember one of the messages from your side when you went to the airport where Taliban were controlling the people, that was very dangerous. And then we got the great news that you go to Qatar, and then another effort was necessary that Germany makes it possible to come. So it was really also from our international group, USA, Great Britain, Israel, Germany, and Ludwigshafen. So it was also a real fight.
Yeah, it was a real fight, and thank you very much from all you guys, as I named before. And I can't express that how much we were under pressure, and this pressure was so full, a stressful life in the past when I was there with my family. And actually it was because, not only because of the Taliban, but because of that we have lost all the achievement, and you have a passion and a view that you're building your country, and you're doing this, and you're bringing people to become free, and equality, women's rights, human rights, and this thing. And in just 1 minute, you're losing all the things, and we have those things all affected on you. And this we have passed those 3 months very stressful life there. Then thanks from all of you guys that a group working, big group working, and finally we were evacuated and come to Germany, and now we are looking for a broad future. And
that would be my next question. Until now, you are here yet for several months. Your children going to school. You had a look at Germany. I know how hard it is to leave a country you love, your home country, to go to exile. This is one of the most cruel things, I think, which could happen in a life. But know you are safe, and I hope that you got some perspective, or a real life perspective in Germany, only not forgetting Afghanistan, working with this experience here. What are your plans with your profession in media work and with your knowledge? Or your wife is a teacher. What are your plans here for a good future?
Again, thanks from the Germans that they opened the prosperous door for us and brought us here and let us to live in this beautiful country. And I am very happy. I can't say how much I am happy, because when you have people who have children, they understand me that we have one aim, that our children go to very good schools, live in a peaceful place and with security and these things, that they by the help of Germans and you guys, I received this, and today my children, they are going to very good schools here in Germany. My wife was a teacher, and she's an educated woman, and I was educated as well, and we are also trying to go to learn German language, German integration courses. And then of course I was doing my master master's degree in Afghanistan, and my wife also was going to university. After studying German language, we will go and continue our lessons, and then we will start working here. What we have, we brought so many things with us here in Germany, like the critical management and so many war ravage experience, and we can then we will start. And she's saying that she will continue her lesson and go and become a teacher here, and I will, of course, I will work in the media and leadership and these things here.
So I wish you and your family all the best, a really great future. And
thank you.
My last question for you is, what do you wish Afghanistan?
We have passed 4 decades war and ravage and misery and destruction in our country. I wish that the Taliban changed themselves, and I demand from international community to go and talk to them, and they put pressure on them and our neighboring countries who have a tremendous impact on the Taliban, like Pakistan and Iran. We don't want so much big things from them. We want them to let the women go to schools and go to universities, and let the women to go and work, and let the people to live in security, stop killing of the ex-people, the ex-employee of the government or people who are working for the international communities, and let's become together and live and work according to the world that today so many other countries are working, Islamic countries are working. In this way we can build Afghanistan. But if they are insisting on banning women from the studying and from working and putting pressure on the other people, they will not succeed, because I have a 40 years experience in all these miseries and fights and wars and conflicts, that the war doesn't have any winner. If you put pressure on the people, dictatorship never work. Go and read the history of all the world. All the dictators, they have lost their power. And I think just freedom and democracy gonna work for the human being, nothing else.
Okay, that were great words for a great future in Afghanistan for you. Ramin, thank you very much that you are in Ludwigshafen, you were in Ludwigshafen. We will broadcast this TV talk several times nationwide, also share it with other public access channels in Germany. In these times, in times of Ukraine war, in this times of even terrorists war in Afghanistan and so on, we need to fight for democracy, we need to fight for human rights, and we need to show international solidarity, and one of the results is our talk. So thank you very much again.
Thank you very much. Thanks from you as well. Thanks for everything.